Hi, this is JT Manova with Like Other Animals, a program that explains who people take after. Please meet a rectangular bird Vladislav, a totem animal of our new partner. Our general sponsor of the Asian season is the most advanced Russian language online booking service, Anyway, Any Day. With their help, we traveled to Thailand together with the square bird. Under this beautiful traveler's palm, Ravenella, we're going to shoot our most scandalous video. No matter what you say about homosexuality, it will cause a scandal anyway. And that's a great reason to talk about it. There are many funny statements on homosexuality. The funniest I've ever heard is, homosexuality is unnatural. It's against our nature. Nature would also laugh at it, would it be able to? 1,500 species display homosexual behavior, from dragonflies and lizards to elephants, whales, and deer. These are just documented cases. Not all the species have been caught doing it yet. But not bad already. 1,500 pieces of evidence that homosexuality emerged in nature and not in our perverted civilization. Judging by its popularity, there are some real reasons for homosexual behavior. Let's explore why we need it. The most popular reason for homosexual behavior in animals, including people, is substitution. This happens when the opposite sex is not available, but the sexual instinct is live and kicking. So, in the absence of a mate, we will use a butler. Let's take bisons. Mature bulls do not allow young ones to approach females. Therefore, the young bulls have to seek solace among themselves until maturity. And find it they will. This is much better than if prairies were roamed by unsatisfied, angry young bisons. The second reason is a mistake. Yeah, it happens not only to tourists in Thailand. By the way, for example, Drosophila males can lose their ability to distinguish between sexes due to a mutation in a single gene, and they mate with everything that flies. I can understand them, since Drosophila flies are all the same. Actually, one of the reasons for sexual dimorphism, that is, the difference between males and females, was the ability to see, stop, same sex, or in the contrary, don't stop. Because one of the advantages of homosexual behavior is career growth. Here, we have two opposite tactics, and baboons, for example, use both of them. Male baboons are constantly fighting for a place in the group hierarchy. These fights can be quite brutal, as a baboon can easily tear apart a cheetah, and not just another baboon. Look at him. He doesn't want to give me back my mango. If you bite me, it'll be even worse. Okay. You are the boss. What a chav. If a male baboon is losing in a fight, it can always stop it to avoid unnecessary casualties. To do that, the losing male must turn their back towards the winner and take a posture of a female baboon. The winner jumps on top and symbolically depicts coitus. After that, his level in the group hierarchy increases, and the level of the defeated male drops to the level of a female. It's quite shameful, but not fatal at all. The opposite tactics is when two males join forces against the reigning alpha male to seize power in the group. Two beta males can often beat one alpha fighter. In this moment of glory and triumph, it's critical for them to keep cooperating rather than competing with each other. So, they use a traditional method, at least for ancient warriors, to strengthen their male solidarity. Coitus wouldn't work here, as it implies hierarchical asymmetry among baboons. Therefore, our warriors practice mutual masturbation to keep hierarchical parity. Females of the Japanese macaques act in a similar way to rise in the group hierarchy. We don't know if their career growth is a pleasant side effect of their sexual relationships or its main purpose, but we don't know it about humans either. In fact, the boundary between homosexual and homosocial behavior in animals is blurred. That's why scientists use very careful expressions like "the robber threatened the victim with an object resembling a gun" to steal an object resembling a purse. Monogamous birds very often form stable same-sex couples. For instance, male couples of grey-lag geese described by Konrad Lorenz, Or the famous pair of male penguins, Roy and Silo, who hatched and raised a chick and even made it to a children's book. Or female couples of Laysan albatrosses who build nests and grow chicks born from some stray male. What is it? Homosexual or homosocial behavior? Is it easier for them to cooperate with the same sex, or is there another reason? We don't know yet, but the bottom line is this: happy same-sex couples with kids are part of animal life. Homosexual behavior is also perfect for controlling the population density of species with limited resources. Let's take giraffes. The savanna is not that big, and it can only feed a limited number of them. In case of overpopulation, all giraffes will suffer. As a result, majority of sexual contacts of male giraffes are with other male giraffes. The same applies to elephants, as overpopulation of elephants is an ecological disaster. So female elephants do all they can to control birth rates. And their temperamental boyfriends have to let off steam on each other. If they didn't, the savanna would be a very dangerous place indeed. Homosexuality is also important for species, using the more the better as their breeding tactics. Scientists from the Novosibirsk University went deep into the mice world and discovered that if a female was under stress during pregnancy, she had a higher chance of getting offspring that prefers homosexual contacts. Stress promises poor conditions, overpopulation, and hunger. Hence, the fertility needs to be reduced, as there is not enough space and food for everyone. Having more homosexual mice and offspring helps to achieve this goal in a gentle and natural way. So, there is no need to eat or kill each other. And of course, homosexual behavior helps animals to maintain peace and friendship, to resolve conflicts and to relieve tension in the group. This is how it's used by highly developed species of mammals. For example, bonobos have replaced aggressive patterns by sexual ones. They live by the principle, in case of danger, have sex with its cause. As a result, bonobos don't have any serious conflicts both within a group and with the neighbors. Incredible for mammals, but true. Another good example are dolphins. Of course, they always smile to us, but males can kill each other for a higher place in a group hierarchy. Homosexual contacts between male dolphins is a blissful alternative to fierce fights. Normally, dolphins do not stay in stable couples for a long time, but same-sex unions can last for a lifetime. As we see, homosexual behavior is a valuable adaptation that increases chances of species to survive. That's why it's so popular in nature. But are there examples of obligatory homosexuality in nature when you choose your own sex not for profit, but as the opposite sex simply doesn't turn you on? Yeah, such examples exist. They are quite rare. The homosexual behavior of male bighorn sheep is well documented, mainly due to the watchful pastoralists who turned to scientists to sort it out. We've bought a ram for breeding, very healthy and handsome. His grandfather was a breeding champion, and he doesn't even look at females. We're suffering losses. Please help. As a response, the physiologist Charles Roselli conducted a study of the bighorn sheep and found inborn differences in the hypothalamus of homo and heterosexual males, very similar to differences found by neurosurgeon Simon Levay in the human brain. This brings us to humans. Our sexual preferences are formed in the womb. They are partially influenced by the child's genes and partially by the hormones of the mother. Areas in the hypothalamus responsible for sexual activities are different in homosexual and heterosexual males. These differences are innate. Thus, our sexual orientation can't be changed after birth. Of course, society can force a person to camouflage and to comply with reigning social norms, but sooner or later this person will come out of the closet or will suffer for the rest of their lives. Any attempts to cure homosexuality do not lead to any results in the best case. At the worst, these attempts result in neuroticism, depression, and worse than that. Michael Jackson tried to change his race with the same result. These are the hard facts. The rest are theories. But some of them are quite likable. For instance, there is a theory that the same gene often leads to homosexuality in men and increases fertility in women. It's a possible answer to the question, how have genes of those who can't reproduce survived evolution? There is another popular hypothesis based on sexual selection. As we already mentioned, human evolution reduced aggression within a group, and ancient women preferred men who could cooperate with other males, choosing them for their husbands and the fathers of their future offspring. Bisexual men had significant advantage over heterosexuals and passed their genes to our genome. This explains why homophobia is widespread not among women, which would be quite logical, but among heterosexual men. Seems like they should only be happy as they have a wider choice of female partners. But they're not happy. Maybe in the back of their minds they still remember how females prefer those gentle, handsome, good-smelling, nasty ones. The main problem in studying homosexuality is the permanent public hysteria that reigns around this topic. Whatever discovery you make, however objective you are, somebody will inevitably shout propaganda and the others will scream discrimination. Makes it impossible to work. That's why we are still waiting for a comprehensive scientific theory that will explain homosexuality. But we already know a number of important things. For example, there is no homophobia in nature. There are no species that discriminate against their homosexual relatives. Animals understand the value of the strategy. So we have to admit, homophobia is unnatural. It's against our nature. This was Like Other Animals. Goodbye.